Yo, what is going on, you Ricochet and Raichu? Today we're playing some games with a Mewtwo box deck. Before we get into the list, though, go check out PokemonCard.io. I upload all of my deck lists over there, and so do a bunch of other people. So there's a bunch of deck lists to go ahead and check out. Link in the description. Mewtwo, but it's Rillaboom. Now I'm sure some of you have seen this deck, played against this deck, but maybe some of you haven't. So it's a Mewtwo box deck, but our I don't know, like engine behind it is Rillaboom. We don't play Welder. We don't play Pikarom, Lightning Bolton engine. We play Rillaboom, so we got grass energy in here. We do have 10 grass to capture 1 weakness card. So the goal is like any other Rillaboom Executor deck. We try and go second on our first turn. We try and use that super growth to get out a turn 1 Rillaboom, and then from there we pick our attacks depending on the situation. But we've got Mewtwo in here now, and not just Mewtwo in here to abuse the psychic type of Mewtwo. We also have like a full Mewtwo package. We've got Incineroar GX, we've got the Dragonite GX with the Sky Judgment to do 270 damage. We do have to discard 3 energy, but it's usually a closer against other tag team decks. We got the Vileplume in here with the Massive Bloom, so a very efficient attack that we can utilize in situations where like our opponent chases our Rillaboom. Like if we go turn 1 attached to Mewtwo, set up Rillaboom, and they go boss KO Rillaboom turn 2. Instead of going super growth again to get out another Rillaboom, we can just go into that Massive Bloom if we want to instead with the Mewtwo. Yeah, so super efficient, cheap attack with the Massive Bloom that can make a big difference in games, in those early game situations. And I guess sometimes we'll Allergic Explosion GX, but not very often. And then the biggest one, I think, is the Buzzwole Pheromosa with the Jet Punch, of course, for 30-30 to active in a bench Pokemon. And then the Elegant Soul is the biggest deal here, that 190. There's a lot of Pokemon with 190 HP right now. Heatran, Victini, stuff like that. Or even if they have, 180, 170, 160, whatever, if we have damage on us, we can't utilize that Massive Bloom. If they get down to 150, of course, we can hit them with a Calming Hurricane, but like 160, 170, 180, all those numbers right there, if our Mewtwo is damaged, we won't be able to Massive Bloom because we do 10 less damage for each damage counter on the Pokemon that's using Massive Bloom. So if we were hit for like 100 damage, can't do enough to like KO a Dedenne or a Crobat, but the Elegant Soul can. So this is a huge upgrade in the deck. I feel like this is the biggest attack that we get access to by playing this in here alongside the Mewtwo. And we could have always played this in here, to be honest. You don't have to have Mewtwo to play Buzzwole Pheromosa in your deck. It's not like an Evolution GX or anything that has to be in the discard pile to utilize this attack through Mewtwo. It is a basic, and it is a tag team, so tag calls can find it as well, but it is a little bit better with Mewtwo because then we don't have to attack with specifically a grass-type Pokemon that also doesn't have that many other great attacks. I mean, Jet Punch is okay, Beast Game is okay against like one prize decks, like a Mad Party or something, but they're not that great overall, to be honest. The Elegant Soul, though, is super good, but not all the time. We definitely have other attacks that we'd like to use. So that's why it's so good to use it through the Mewtwo, because there's so much flexibility with what other attacks we want to be able to utilize. And the next big part about the deck, it is heavy in the tag call engine, and that is the only supporters we play. Besides boss, we only play tag call supporters. We play 2 Malamana, 2 Guzmahala, and 2 Caitlyn and Cynthia. No Marnie, no research. But these do discard cards when we use them, so it gets our hand size a little bit lower than it might be if we're playing other supporters, which is why we do play a Kricketune in here to be able to utilize that exciting stage to draw more cards. So if we Malamana, discard our hand to maybe even 0, exciting stage up to 3 or 4 if we switch into the Kricketune. Guzmahala, similar. We won't be able to switch into the Kricketune, but discard our hand pretty low, and then discard our hand pretty low, and then draw some cards with Kricketune. So that's a really cool synergy going on there between the Kricketune and the tag call engine. And then of course 4 quick 3 cherish. And the cherish balls we need to help find our Dragonite and our Incineroar. They can't find, or they can find the other ones, but the tag call is already fine. Oh, I guess it helps us find Vileplume as well. But the tag call can already get us like Buzzwole Pheromosa and the Rillaboom Executor and stuff. So the cherish balls are really nice to find those specifically. And that is the list. I don't really have anything else to say on it, so let's go ahead and let's get into some games. All right, mulligan in our first hand, but that's fine. We'll send those back, get a new hand, something fresh to work with that's hopefully a little bit better. And we are going second, which is what we do want to be going. We do want to go second because we just want to get off that turn 1 super growth, get out our dude, and then kind of go from there. And we'll see what our opponent's playing here soon. We have the Dedenne in hand. I don't want to change away my reset stamp, though, really, so we'll try and maybe not. Giratina, so we know they're playing Scoop Up Net, and it is a Urshifu deck. Okay, Urshifu V is on the menu. All right, so Rapid Strike, VMAX, Urshifu. We want to use Mewtwo, and that's pretty much it. Another big attacker in this matchup is going to be Incineroar, because they can hit us if they have Jirachi in play. They can like hit us, and then we can't want to KO them unless, oh, but they play Mimikyu. Okay, so that completely changes things. We still theoretically want to use Mewtwo, but we don't want to open up with Mewtwo because we don't want them to put damage on Mewtwo before we attack with Mewtwo. So that completely changes our our strategy here. We're definitely gonna have to switch it up a little bit. Gonna have to open up with Rillaboom Executor instead, and then kind of go from there. So we're gonna open up with Rillaboom Executor, start attacking with that first. Open up with the Rillaboom Executor, start attacking with those first, and then we can like kind of make a Mewtwo out of nowhere and take a knockout theoretically. They don't have the Jirachi GX in play, so that has to be our game plan instead here. It's a little bit worse, but it's really not that big of a deal, to be honest. So we can definitely live with it. It won't be that big of a deal. But yeah, we'll be able to get those KOs theoretically out of nowhere if they don't put the Jirachi in play. All right, Incineroar top deck. So this will tell my opponent, unfortunately, that I am playing the Mewtwo in here. Maybe they won't really pay attention. They won't really take notice, but that does kind of just tell my opponent that. Good Big Charm here. Caitlyn Cynthia away the reset stamp. I guess I maybe should have Caitlyn Cynthia at first, to be honest. I was kind of a little bit... I could have let Caitlyn Cynthia away the Incineroar. Attach Retreat, Super Growth. And I want to Big Charm this as well, I think. Where I want my Big Charm. I want to protect it from getting knocked out. It's not super likely to be KO'd if I don't Big Charm it, but they could play Dojo. They have Zigzagoon probably, so it's definitely possible. So I want to protect it from that. And I don't really want to Dedede change because if I draw into like double Thwacky or double Rillaboom, I guess double Rillaboom wouldn't be that bad. Double Thwacky would be pretty bad. But yeah, I have to play Escape Rope here. Same thing, it gets forced to the active. But now it has 200 HP instead of 170. And I think, yeah, Dojo Goon would actually KO this. That wouldn't be actually too difficult, especially if they got the Escape Rope off. And I really didn't want to Dedede change there, so we'll just go like this. And now next turn, we have the Malon in hand. And we have a Quick Ball, so we can go like Quick Ball, Malon, not for the full effect, unfortunately, with this hand, because we don't have enough cards to like full effect plus Quick Ball, unless I want to get rid of the Dedede, but we're going to need to Dedede change. But we can grab Mewtwo, and then we can use that Tropical Hour GX to one-hit KO the Urshifu V. Ideally, we don't GX attack, so if we can find the Buzzwole Pheromosa alongside the Mewtwo, that would be better, but if I have to go with the Tropical Hour, it really wouldn't be that bad, to be honest. So we'll see what our opponent does here. They'll probably go like Snipe, just get off the 120, 120, may as well. For them, I see no reason for them not to go 120, 120. I mean, they could just go for the 150 though, but it kind of makes no sense to not go 120, 120 to be honest. So I expect that from my opponent, the 120, 120. Yeah, they could go because then they can like chase the Rillaboom theoretically on the next turn, which just kind of sets them up really cleanly there. I feel like so. We'll see what they do though. We'll see what they do. They're using a calm here. Are they gonna go deeper into the deck? Or are they just gonna chill? Another Urshifu, that makes a ton of sense. What else do they got going on is the question then. Just the Gale Thrust. Okay, so Gale Thrust, 150. That's fine. Now this is kind of... Ooh, that is a really good top deck, actually. Now I think we can Malon for the full effect. So I can play the Tag Call. I can, like, grab these two. Malon, discard both those into the Mewtwo, and then we can Dedede change. And then, yeah, use Elegant Soul. So we're going to do this. Quick Ball away the Reset Stamp. Grab a Mewtwo. They don't have the Jirachi, and they don't... I mean, the Mimikyu wouldn't matter yet. So we're going to Malon, and then we are going to Dedede change before we use Rillaboom, because we do want to draw into an energy, and it's super unlikely we would draw into all of our grass energy. So we're going to increase our chances of... No! Oh, gosh. Well, it looks like we whiffed an energy, or Crobats, or a way to discard Vileplume actually would have worked as well. Oh my gosh. That is just terrible for us. Very good for my opponent, though. Man. All right. I don't even know where to go from here now. We could hit the active with Jet Punch, I guess. I don't hate it. Man, what an awful draw. What a terrible draw. Yeah, if we'd gotten... Yeah, way to discard the Vileplume would have worked as well. We didn't have a ton left, to be honest. Quick Ball. We just need to draw into an energy, and we had to wait 1, 2... 10 energy in the deck, so kind of unfortunate to not draw one there, to be honest. And currently, actually, we don't have a way to actually do anything on our next turn at all. I don't want to put the energy on the Mewtwo, really, because... But I guess I maybe want to be able to retreat it, to be honest. I think we will put the energy on the Mewtwo. Then I have to just go with a Jet Punch. I could Super Growth out this Grookey, actually. I think I'm going to go with that instead. I'll put the Swell in play. Yeah, so that way we can have a second Rillaboom, which could... Well, that would be able to make it so we don't whiff energy, to be honest. It also thins out the deck by 1 card of the Thwacky. But now they're going to look to get that Jirachi GX in play. I was trying to catch them off guard, which we did set up really nicely. They didn't get the Jirachi down, although they could have probably... If it's in the deck, they could have, because they got this instead. So we definitely had like an opportunity to catch my opponent off guard here and just make it so they couldn't really play super well into the situation, and then it was like, well, we whiffed an energy. So, or a way to discard Vileplume. I didn't even really think about that as an option, to be honest. But then once we drew the Vileplume, I was like, oh yeah, Massive Bloom works too. I couldn't have found it any earlier, unfortunately, but I did find it here. We also just didn't get a way to do anything with it, though. So, but now that we're gonna have double Rillaboom out, we can load up this Mewtwo to get the knockout here. At that point, though, both of our Mewtwo's will have been hit, and I'm sure my opponent will be trapped by the Mimikyu. So, gonna have to come up with something else as well to close out the game. We could go with just a Calming Hurricane next turn, and then go into, I don't know, Calming Hurricane into something else. The full GX attack, maybe. We could do that as well, and just remove all their energy from play. Maybe try and find another Malamana at that point, which would be great. So we've got a couple different options for how we can play this from here, to be honest. It looks like they're just going for another 150 onto our Mewtwo. And because of Mimikyu, we won't be able to attack with this Mewtwo anymore. We can try and knock out the Mimikyu at some point, of course, but it's going to be a little bit of work to pull that off. This is kind of a bad spot for us. All right, another Rillaboom. I don't really know what I want to do here. I kind of don't want to attack with the Mewtwo yet. I almost just want to go for a Calming Hurricane, I feel like. Doesn't set me up that well either, though. My gosh. Yeah, whiffing that play there was just so big. It's like, how do we come back from this situation? Fail. I'm going to capture out the Kricketune, I think, so I can draw a card. I guess we're just going to Calming Hurricane and maybe full GX attack on the next turn. We'll see. Calming Hurricane. They can't really stop me from full GX attacking next turn, so it'd be pretty good to pull that off. I don't know if that ever sets us up in a situation to like win the game. That's what I'm kind of scared of. Like, how do we win the game still? Like, even if I pull that off, I make that play happen, how do we win the game from there? Where does the game go? What is our plan? That's not looking great right now. It's not looking great for us. Need a little bit of art. They're just chase onto Dene. I'm fine with this. They can draw 5 prize cards if they want. We can reset their energy. Okay, so this seems like a mistake for my opponent, to be honest. I'm 100% fine with this going down like this. So they're gonna go draw 5 prize cards here, but them getting their last prize is going to be them getting their last prize card is going to be pretty difficult, to be honest. I don't know how they're going to be able to do it. Here we go. Knockout, knockout. We could even go into Mewtwo this turn, take this knockout, and then boss KO this later on. I guess the problem with that is this one could... Actually, they don't really have an out. They could get, like, double Goon Ping, KO this. That'd be a lot for them to get, though. So I kind of just want to go Mewtwo 1-hit KO this turn. So I'm going to send up Kricketune. No. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and send up Kricketune. We're gonna get something here. I'm feeling confident. We can burn down our hand a little bit as well. Immediately top deck that. That's great. I don't want to give him the opportunity to put a Dojo in play. Bench this. Stage. Yeah, we can 1-hit KO this and then clean up this. I don't think they'll be able to win in between they have 1 prize card left. No, they can KO Kricketune. No, they can't KO Kricketune. They can do 150. It should be good. I just don't want to put Crobat in play, I guess. I could go ahead and get it out of the deck, I guess, as well. Ocean did not grab the Crobat, I guess. Yeah. Did not the deck. Did not the deck some more. Time. Leave that last energy in the deck because you never know when you're gonna need it. And retreat and hit him with Elegant Soul. Knockout. They will be able to stop this Mewtwo from attacking next turn, but then we can just go ahead with the Tropical Hour GX and knock this out. They could win with the Goon play. It would have been nice to have a reset stamp there, but I don't think I want to put Crobat in play to find a reset stamp when it's like not guaranteed. Yeah, if they get Goon, Net, Boss, they can KO this Rillaboom. It would have been nice to find Guzma and Hala, and then we could have Guzma and Hala got this one a Big Charm to protect it. That did not happen. So, yeah, we're in a little bit of a tough spot because of that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes from here. Yeah, that could be a play from my opponent. They can get the Goon, Net, Boss, Goon, Net, Boss, and a switch card. So they have to send something else up. And there's no Goon on the bench, so they can't send that up and then, like, net it. Then they would double net, so that'd actually be better for us, but... Goon, Net, Boss is what my opponent needs here. KO this Rillaboom. Wasn't able to protect it as much as I would like to. It's gonna be tough. Here comes the Calm. They do have a really big hand as well, which is really, really scary. But yeah, here comes the Calm. What is the grab? Check their switch card. They have a lot of switch cards left, so that should be no problem for them. And yeah, them using the Gmax Rapid Flow doesn't really add anything right now, I don't think. I don't think it really adds anything to the for them to really take advantage of, to put damage in 2 places right now. I mean, they could like hit both Rillabooms, But if this goes into the active, we got a pretty good chance to win the game next turn. They also need to like stop my Mewtwo from attacking as well. So they couldn't just like leave the Mewtwo. They can be able to attack. Okay, there's a Jirachi. That is not Zigzagoon, so that's good for us. It could still be in their hand, and Jirachi doesn't really do anything here because it does have 180 HP left. I guess they could play Cheryl this turn. That is one play that they could make that would be annoying, is they could Cheryl this turn, actually. And then that would heal this, but then I could just Malolana as a response, heal my Mewtwo to stop this from getting knocked out on the following turn, and then we just hit this with the... But no, there's just a Marnie. Then we can just hit it with the Rowlet Executor. But it's just a Marnie here from my opponent. So this puts us in a really good spot, I feel like. I mean, they could also just pass for a turn while they try and set up a bigger play. We do need a boss to be able to like chase down this Urshifu, which I don't have yet. I will be trying to find as soon as possible. Hopefully we top deck a boss. Quick ball for Crobat would also work as a way for us to find more cards. And we do have 3 boss. I saw all 3 boss in the deck, so they're all in there. And I don't know how many cards we had in hand before they Marnied us, but our top deck odds are not that terrible to top deck a boss then, I don't think, because we had about 4 or 5 cards in hand before they Marnied us. So that means there's like 10 cards that we can top deck here, because the bottom 5 our last hand is all on the bottom. So I don't think it's terrible odds to actually top deck right here. But it looks like are they going to attack with the Urshifu? I think they have forgotten about my Rowlet and Alolan Executor on the bench, just waiting. So, and there's this boss top deck. But like I said, it wasn't a terrible odds to top deck the boss, to be honest. Retreat, and we're just going to do 200 damage and win the game. Maybe they thought I was out of grass energy, and they're like, okay, they can't use the Tropical Hour GX. And that's fair, I guess. I think you should assume I always have it there. They could have just waited with Tina in the active and hope I don't have boss. But we did top deck boss, so we had the win that way either way. And yeah, we end up with the dub in this first one. All right, here we go again. Was a little bit of a nail biter in the last one. Let's see if it gets more interesting here in this one. Our opponent chose for us to go first. Oh no. Cricketune start is at least very good. Yeah, we really don't want to go first in these games. It's not what we want to do as Rillaboom at all. Oh, looks like we've hit a mirror match here. Gonna go ahead and give up this. Let's take a look for... Oh no. All right, so we have to hold the hand because we only have 1 Thwackey in the deck, so we have to evolve this next turn. The hand has gotten like slightly worse as well as we've top decked Crobat. It's got 2 boss, and we pretty much have to Data change the hand next turn, probably barring some miracle top deck, which could happen, of course. But yeah, we have to keep this Thwackey around in the hand because otherwise we will just kind of lose because we won't have a Rillaboom. And the really scary thing about going second or not going first in the mirror match is that they can get out their Rillaboom and then just boss KO our Rillaboom, and then we just kind of lose the game from there, to be honest. So we're just gonna hope that doesn't happen. But to be honest, it definitely very well could, and then we might lose as soon as next turn. Let's see how fast this game goes. And they got all kinds of stuff set up here. Double Grookey. Here comes that Super Growth, and we're gonna try and Super Growth here ourselves. But I'm very scared of just simply losing on the next turn because they could just go Attach Grass, Rillaboom's ability, you know, boss knockout. Then we just lose. And we don't want to use Mewtwo here first either, unless we get the weakness guard on it, because we don't know if our opponent plays. We don't know what our opponent's playing as far as Mewtwo's and stuff go, and they probably play Mewtwo. So I'm gonna go ahead and Cherish, and I'll probably grab. We do want to get to Mewtwo eventually. If we get the weakness guard, it'd be great. We have so many more outs. I want to grab something like the Incineroar here, or the Dragonite. I think we'll go with the Incineroar here though, before I did a change. I could boss Rillaboom here. Seems a little bit greedy, but we do need to be a little bit cheesy here, I think, to get a... We need to really stop them from KOing our Rillaboom. So I think I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with this boss on this Rillaboom here. Now I'm tempted to use the Crobat for 3, but that starts to clog my bench, so I'm just going to bet against that and say we're going to be fine. And we're mostly fine. The problem here is we got the Weakness Guard energy, but we didn't get a way to move the Cricketune besides the Weakness Guard energy, which is the problem here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Rowlet Executor and Malolana. The Weakness Guard energy is great, but not when it's what we're going to have to use to retreat our Cricketune. There's no way to really draw cards. So we need the Rowlet Executor. Malolana seems fine. I could just grab like the Buzzmosa though as like discard fodder, which I'm a little bit bigger of a fan of. And yeah, we're gonna have to go with this retreat here, lose our Weakness Guard energy, which could really hurt down the line. Still don't want to put my Mewtwo in play, just to play around some unfortunate shenanigans that I guess could happen, could come up. We get a Rillaboom out, but at what cost? But yeah, I think this boss play is not, it's pretty necessary. There's not a whole ton of switch cards in the Rowlet Executor decks. There is Malolana's, of course, but if they play that, they're not playing boss. If they play Bird Keeper, they're not playing boss. So all these things that they could be doing means they're not playing boss. And if they're not playing boss, they're not KOing my Rillaboom, which is really good for us. So I think it's definitely worth to go with this boss play on the Rillaboom. And it's actually interesting that they didn't involve the Grookey. I guess the Grookey is a constant pivot, whereas with the Rillaboom, you would need a little bit more. So I guess that does make sense for my opponent there. But that's why we want to go with it like that for sure. That's why we want to go with it like that. What do we have set up here? So we do the Vileplume down. I think they grabbed a Rillaboom Executor and a Caitlyn and Cynthia. Yet to see any signs that they are playing the Mewtwo build. There goes the Rillaboom Executor on the discard from the Quick Ball, though. So that's curious. That makes me think that they probably are playing the Mewtwo build because they're just discarding one of these. There's a Delmise. Okay, so I don't think they're playing the Mewtwo build at all. That's a Delmise V, which means we're probably up against Delmise V Max, which is not only unexpected, I think we can definitely handle just fine. So that's probably what we're up against here is Delmise V Max. Yeah, I was thinking it's definitely going to be some kind of mirror match, or they'll probably have a, even if it's not a mirror match, if they don't have the full like Mewtwo package with the Vileplume and the Incineroar and all that stuff, they probably have a Mewtwo in the deck to help out against the Urshifus, but it looks like they don't even have that going for them, which is just kind of good for us. We can work with that. I actually, you know, to be honest, I probably should have taken a Malolana here so that I could Malolana into my Mewtwo theoretically on the next turn. So I'm really wishing this was a Malolana right now. Maybe we'll top deck and get lucky. But yeah, Malolana here into my Mewtwo would be great. Attacking with the Rillaboom Executor here is not quite as good as Malolana into Mewtwo and then attacking with Mewtwo with, I guess it wouldn't be this. I mean, what do we grab off the... I completely forgot what we got off the tag call now. Was this in Guzmahala maybe? I don't even remember. Maybe the Mewtwo? I don't remember. Capture Energy is okay. We do want to move. We could move with a air balloon here. So I think I might go with that. So we could go like Guzmahala with Caitlyn, Cynthia, and the Hermosa. And then put 2 on the Mewtwo. Attach Retreat with the air balloon. Could also get rid of the capture and get the other capture, which would also work. And then I can keep the Caitlyn and Cynthia, which I like a little bit more, to be honest. But then we're really hoping the other capture is in the deck, which it might not be. And it is, so we're good. And grab a Chaotic Swell, because why not? Right? Yeah, why not? Chaotic Swell. I'm going to go ahead and capture out the other Mewtwo, I think, here. To just go ahead and get that in play. And then put this here. And then Rillaboom. Voltage Beat, 2 to Mewtwo. Okay, she's Vileplume's attack here. Bunch of the other Mewtwo, quick tune for 1. Seems fine. Now, we're still not out of the... It can still get scary because our opponent, once again, they're ahead quite a bit. Mirror match, the more now that I'm just playing this game, it seems kind of, it's like super scary to go second because now they can go Rillaboom 2 here, attach your boss, not just knock out my Rillaboom, but knock it out with the full effect of the GX attack, which means we just lose all of our energy in play and we just can't attack next turn. So we're really hoping my opponent does not do that, and they just kind of attack our active. That'd be very nice. And they do play Mewtwo, so they still play the Mewtwo. I was like, at this point, I was thinking, okay, maybe they just don't play the Mewtwo. Nope, they still play the Mewtwo. How many is going to be a big question now, because to respond to their Mewtwo, we probably have to use our Mewtwo. I don't see a better response than that. So how many Mewtwo do they play is now the question kind of for us. Yeah, that's the question. How many Mewtwo do they play? We're going to have to figure that out soon. We're going to figure that out soon. As we're going to attack with our Mewtwo, and if they just have another Mewtwo to work with, then we're going to be in big trouble. Or an Ordinary Rod and the Quick Ball for the Mewtwo would also work. So we want Reset Stamp here. We definitely want Reset Stamp here. And we don't have a lot of outs to get it, not going to lie. We are down our Crobat. Our Dedenne is used. Kricketune, I'm not going to put in the active because it's a little bit too risky because we need to make sure we can attack this turn. Although I guess I could put Kricketune in the active, and then I think they just discarded Reset Stamp there. We could put Kricketune in the active and attach Retreat and then attack with this one through the Vileplume attack, but then we would have to draw into an energy, which we're not guaranteed, so I don't think I want to go that route. Probably just going to send up the Mewtwo, Rillaboom to the Mewtwo, Caitlyn and Cynthia, hopefully find a Reset Stamp, because they're going to have at least 6 cards. They could still play a couple more out of this hand, so they're going to have 6 cards next turn. And once again, they could just Ordinary Rod, get the Mewtwo back. They could be playing 2 Mewtwo. They might not even play Delmise VMAX, which is what I assumed was happening here, but now we've only seen this Delmise, so they maybe only play the Delmise. That might just be their 2 prize attacker instead of playing something like a double. We actually don't play any 2 prize attacker in the build I'm playing. So we're going to Voltage Beat first because we don't need 3 energy this turn. Load them up. Caitlyn and Cynthia away the Grookey now that we top deck that, because the Guzmahala could still be useful later on. Grab ourselves a boss for the future and draw into a Reset Stamp. Not quite. All right. Attack all the thing out the deck, maybe. There are the Malolanas. Oh, I think we prized double reset stamp. Or did we discard one earlier? Nope, we just prized double reset stamp. All right, so Massive Bloom. This might give us a reset stamp, but it might be a little bit too little too late. And still our opponent can get off that full GX attack with the Rattle Executor, putting us in a terrible spot. So we are still so far behind. Not only can my opponent simply just win this turn by setting up another Mewtwo with Ordinary Rod, Quick Ball from Mewtwo, just by playing 2 Mewtwo. They can also win by just going, or basically win by having the full effect of the Tropical Hour GX plus a boss on my Rillaboom. That would also effectively win them the game. So it's basically the same thing either way. I mean, I can't imagine I come back from that. I guess it's possible to make a comeback from that, but it seems pretty difficult. I don't know how I would pull it off, especially with 2 reset stamp prize. But okay, attached to the Delmise. That's a good sign. That's a good initial sign here. Not going with now they just can't use the Mewtwo's attack. All right, here comes the Rillaboom, no Mewtwo in play, so that's also a good sign. Delmise is loaded up. It is a 2 prizer, so we won't win by knocking this out, but we got the Incineroar set up and we've got energy in hand. So all we need to do is boss KO this Rowlet next turn, get rid of the Marnie here. This makes you think they maybe have another Marnie in the hand. There's a Crobat, so they're digging for something else here. Now I bet they're wishing that they didn't discard that reset stamp. I bet they're wishing they did not discard that for sure. There's the Crobat. They could find another one. Okay, it is the Delmite. Do we get knocked out by this? No. Swing Chain. Each grass energy attaches Pokemon, so they can do 90 to one of my bench Pokemon. They can almost KO my Rowlet alone Executor, actually. They're very close to being able to KO this. There's a Marnie, so we don't have the boss anymore. There's a Quick Ball for Eldegoss, though, so that should work just fine as long as they hit us. But if they hit us, we can actually just put an energy here and use Incineroar. So they can't hit us. They could just snipe my Rowlet Executor for 90, though. And I think that is the play that they'll probably go for. I would imagine they would go for. I would go for that if I was them. So we'll see. Nope, Max Anchor. Well, I think they forgot about Incineroar. I didn't use my GX attack yet, right? Nope. All right. Attach and big damage from the Darkest Tornado GX. Knockout. Yeah, could have played it a little bit slower there as my opponent, but instead I guess I want to take 1,210 damage, and we get another up. There, my reset stamps. A little bit late, but we didn't need him in the end. All right, into another one. We did lose the coin flip, but so we're hoping our opponent chooses to go first, which who knows? They might. They did. All right. We got a Grookey start. The rest of the hand is okay. Got an Air Balloon as well. So we might have to Cherish Ball for the Dedenne, which we hope is in the deck, and we could Guzman Hala for Capture Energy. We actually wouldn't have to Data Change yet. We could just go Guzman Hala for like a Capture, plus Big Charm and Chaotic Swell, I guess. Up against another Rapid Strike here, which feels like definitely a fine matchup overall. It's hard for them to really like mount. If we can just mount Lana a couple times, we're usually just gonna win the game. It feels like. Go ahead and do this. Get rid of these two. Grab ourselves Swell, Capture, Big Charm. Go ahead and capture out the Rowlet Alolan Executor, or I could grab the Mewtwo. Cherish Ball for Rowlet Executor. But I guess I'm kind of scared of Mimikyu. I don't know if they play the Mimikyu, so I might want to chill on that. Just grab the Rowlet Executor, to be honest. And then check for Thwacky and Rillaboom are in there. Okay, so let's just grab this. And I'm going to hard retreat here because I actually want to Big Charm this, and then Air Balloon this, and then Chaotic Swell, and then we'll just hold the rest of the hand and then just go with Super Growth. We don't really need to be too more aggressive past that, so just kind of chill. So the Big Charm protects it from like Escape Rope plus Goon Ping, Net Goon Ping. And the Air Balloon on this means we can move this into the Mewtwo theoretically next turn, and then attack with Vileplume's Massive Bloom next turn. And we want to do this all right now before our opponent like Marnies us. Because if they Marnie us, we just lose these cards. Obviously, the Big Charm could be effective as immediately as next turn or on their turn, whereas Air Balloon wouldn't happen until our turn. But if they Marnie us, we lose the Air Balloon, and you know that's not good. So playing it out like this gives us a little bit more flexibility, makes it a little bit easier to get into the place we want to get into. There is a boss. We do have a Mew and Lana to play around that play as well. We can just Mew and Lana and then KO this thing. So we'll see what our opponent has. There's the Urshifu. Here comes the boss, but it's got that Big Charm, so I'm not scared of it getting knocked out, and we could even heal it next turn and then actually knock out this this Urshifu. So that's what we're gonna do here. Cherish Ball. Grab the Mewtwo. Bench. Voltage Beat. 2 grass onto the Mewtwo. Then I actually could go Quick Ball to Quick Ball. grab Kricketune. I could have gone Crobat here as well, but Kricketune is so much better. And then I can either discard these cards if I don't like them. I'm not the biggest fan of them. We only have, what, 50 HP left? They could strafe Kalos. If they strafe Kalos, we're in such a good spot. I feel like that'd be fine, to be honest. But I could go something like... attach here, Crobat. Get some more cards to work with. I think this is probably going to be the best play overall. I'm going to go ahead and Mal Lana. We'll discard the Grookey and one of the reset stamps. And then we're going to heal it. So it's not in any real danger. And then just Massive Bloom. Yeah, because I guess the one thing that could happen would be Strafe. We could get Strafe knocked out, like Strafe, Goonping. We do have the Chaotic Spell, so Dojo's not really a threat. Not something we really have to worry about, to be honest. We don't have to worry about that. But the Strafe play could happen next turn, right? So may as well play around it, I feel like. And then they could even get like Goonping, Net Goonping plus Mimikyu and stop our Mewtwo from attacking. So then we'd really want to have protected our Rillaboom. So I feel like that's fine overall. And we'll see what our opponent draws. There's just a research. The boss isn't happening. So we're just in kind of an insanely good spot at this point. There's the Dojo to bump our Swell, but it's not going to get in play, so not doing any more damage out of that. So the only thing I'm afraid of is really Mimikyu, to be honest. Mimikyu is the only thing that can really pose a threat to us right now. Besides that, they don't really have anything going on for them. Nothing that would actually be able to like do anything relevant. So Mimikyu's it. That's their only play that they have available to them. And besides that, should be pretty much a free dub from here on out, to be honest. I mean, we'll see if they can get it. Mimikyu plus a Goonping, or Mimikyu plus Strafe would also work. And it looks like they are setting up for that Strafe. The question is just, do they have the Mimikyu? And if they don't, we're going to be in a really good spot. And even if they do, we do have another Mewtwo in our deck that we can attack with that won't have any damage counters on it. We can just bring it in into one turn out of nowhere and then attack with it. So we can always just attack with that. Where did the... oh, they calmed it away. I was like, where'd the Jirachi go? It just disappeared. I thought they quick-balled for the Dedenne, but they calmed it away. So yeah, there's that. That's like the only thing that could be annoying here is Mimikyu, but without Mimikyu, there's really nothing they can do here. We've pretty much got this one locked up. But let's see if they can find the Mimikyu and put that to use or not. There's a Jirachi, so they can retreat into that and use a Stellar Wish again. And it doesn't have to be just Mimikyu. They need a way to damage it. So it has to be Strafe plus Mimikyu. So they need the energy, or Goonping plus Mimikyu. So they would need another Pokemon in play. Otherwise, we're just in a really good spot. And even if they get that, like I said, we've got another fresh Mewtwo to potentially be used. All right, there's Jirachi. So that's still a good one for them. Here comes the Strafe. They're going to run into a Jirachi. But all we have to do is KO Jirachi, then KO this or this, and we will just win the game. So that becomes kind of our game plan here, I feel like. Go ahead and play this. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Incineroar. Quick ball it away. Grab... I mean, none of this is any good. I'll grab the Mewtwo, I guess. Like, none of it's that great at all. Like, none of those options are that good at all. So, attach here. Voltage Beats. I could take 2 out and put them on the Rowlet Alone Executor. Could have put them on the fresh Mewtwo. Could just take nothing here as well. I'm almost leaning towards that, to be honest. But I do kind of want another attacker set up just in case they, like, KO this. And then also, like... they could like KO the Rillaboom and then also trap this with like Mimikyu plus Zigzagoon. So to play around all those shenanigans that could happen, I'm gonna go ahead and play it like this. To play around all the shenanigans, they could go like Goonping, Mimikyu, Boss, Dojo, KO my Rillaboom. And if I don't put those energy here or on a fresh Mewtwo, but even if I put them on a fresh Mewtwo, they could get another net and Goonping this Mewtwo, which like that's a lot for them to get, but it's not the most. It's not. It wouldn't be like. It's possible, basically. If it's possible and we can play around it, may as well play around it, because I think I can comfortably play around that, especially when the fresh Mewtwo can just attack with the Vileplume's attack, and we know we have plenty of energy left in our deck to be able to pull that off. Should be fine to play it this way. Shouldn't be any real threat. This should be comfortable, and I'm feeling comfortable about it. We should just be okay. There's a switch. They can hit us for 150, but that's not going to cut it in this situation. They need Mimikyu. They need Mimikyu like yesterday. Like 2 games ago, they need to get the Mimikyu out, because without that, there's no way they can make a comeback here for sure. Even with the Jirachi in play, even with the Jirachi in play, there's the Mimikyu. All right, they have it. Yeah, even with the Jirachi in play, taking away the weakness, but they got it now. So here they go. We do have the boss though, so it should be a clean dub on our turn. We can just boss up the Jirachi with the Dedenne, and I'm feeling like I want to take out the Jirachi here personally, so we're gonna go ahead and take that out. Bring up the Jirachi, retreat, and take the knockout with that Tropical Hour GX. And yeah, another dub over a Rapid Strike. Matchup feels pretty good, to be honest. Yeah, definitely, it always feels good to play against a matchup where they can't threaten the turn 2 1-hit KO on our Rillaboom. If they can't do that, they never have that chance to get really far ahead, which is really bad against us. If anyone gets that Rillaboom knockout, it's really tough. But they didn't get it, so we end up in a pretty good spot, and we get a dub. And that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you tomorrow.